Right. So how's everybody doing out there? Like, well, and welcome to it. Why does she even do this? Why is she even doing this? And for those of you that know me and probably don't even know about this side of me, I'm pretty sure you're wondering, why is Keisha doing this? Why does she do this? I do this because I care and because I'm concerned. I'm concerned about my people. I'm concerned about the state of the mind of a lot of my people. You understand? It worries me, and well, not worries me, but it does bother me when I look and I see the way we have become as a people. You know, how we're just allowing ourselves to, not all of us, but so many of us are just, we neglect ourselves. And when you neglect yourself, you neglect your children. You see, my main focus is on the youth. Although I have to educate the adults, because it is us, the adults, and the elders that are the teachers, the true teachers of the youth. So in order to educate my youth, the youth, I also have to educate the adults. Okay, so hopefully what you will do with the knowledge and the information that you have gotten from this channel and from myself, hopefully what you will do is you will take it and you will teach it to the youth. Because it's of no surprise that our young people today, brothers and sisters, they're messed up. They are lost out here in this world, and we as the adults have abandoned them. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. Let's not play games, okay? I can use all the big words, you know, I can think of, all the big words I can find. But at the end of the day, our kids are messed up, okay? They're messed up. Our youth is messed up out here, and we must take blame. We must, especially for those of us that are in our 40s and older. Do you not realize that we are now the elders? We are now becoming the elders. Or for many of us, we have become the elders. The same elders that you remember looking up to and going to for advice when you were a youth, when you were a child and you were growing up. We are now those people that these youth and these children are supposed to be coming to for advice and looking up to. So my thing is, how can they come to us when we're messed up? When we don't have no good advice to give them? All that wisdom that our grandparents and the elders in the neighborhood used to give us when we was young. You know, the little wisdom, the little things they were saying, you didn't really understand it at the time. But now you're older, you're an adult, and now you have understanding of what they meant and what they were talking about. Who's doing this for the youth today? See, that's my concern. My concern is the youth, because without the youth having the knowledge, the readiness, the preparation, being prepared to face this world. Because if you think about the kids now that are 5 and up, in the next 20 years, what do you think they're going to be doing? Okay, what are we going to leave behind for them? I mean, it's bad enough that, I mean, hey, listen, they messed up the ozone layer, they messed up this universe, okay, and you know, food ain't even safe to eat no more, because that's being cloned, and, you know, pesticides being sprayed all over the vegetation, and Lord knows what else they doing. You know, the water's all polluted. You know, nowadays, no matter where you live, you have to have a filter, or you have to buy bottled water, because you can't drink water straight out the spigot anymore, because this water has been polluted. Most of it, the vast majority of it has been polluted, and it's just not good for human consumption anymore. It's like, what do you think is really going on in this world today? You see, when I sit back and I think about what's going on in this world today, and I'm watching the news, I'm not just watching it, like, I'm actually absorbing it. I'm actually absorbing it. When I go outside and I go down the block to my local store or bodega or supermarket, whatever, I'm observing my brothers and my sisters on the corners, on the stoops, and I'm watching how they communicate with each other. You know, I watch how me and my friends communicate with one another, okay? How we converse. And I'm noticing that it's all messed up. It's all messed up. You understand what I'm saying? We as black people, we have become so disconnected as a people that it is really sad, because of all the races, we are still to this day the only race of people that is at the bottom of the totem pole, even with all the black celebrities that are around now, the athletes. Even still, we are at the bottom. Okay, our children are not graduating from school on the same average as any other child from any other race. You understand what I'm saying? We all know the Asians have, they got us beat. Well, shoot, they got half of America beat. That's been that way for forever. Okay, but the reality that what I'm trying to say to you is this: we have to start looking at ourselves. It's okay. You sit back, you talk about slavery, and oh yeah, the white man did this to me. The white man never did nothing to you. Okay, well, yeah. There are a lot of brothers and sisters out here that have been victimized and brutalized at the hands of white police officers. That's everywhere in the tabloids now. Every time you cut on your TV, you're hearing about yet another case of a brother or a sister being beaten or killed at the hands of a white officer. That's horrible. And then you sit back and you wonder, and you're trying to figure out, and you're beating your head up against a wall, and you're constantly asking yourself, why is it that these things are constantly being allowed to happen to us just solely based on the color of our skin? Still in this day and age, we're still marching. We're still asking for justice. We're still asking for freedom. And my question is this: if we are true citizens, why are we still marching? If we are true citizens, if what is written in that Constitution, if what is written in that Bill of Rights applies to us just like everyone else, why are we still marching? Why are we constantly asking to be treated fairly? Why are we constantly asking for equality? All of these things should go off in your head immediately, because you know just as well as I know that don't make sense. If I'm an equal citizen, why is it like that? See, the reality of it is that we are not equal citizens. Now, understand this. I do not hold anyone at blame for what happened 400, 500, 600 years ago. I hear so many black people, I hear so many people, they get into that discussion, okay? And, the man got his foot on my neck, and this and that and that and this, and there's always the white man doing this to me, the white man doing that to you. Listen to me. Yes, it's true that there are a lot of white people in this world today that still are very racist. But come on, y'all, let's be real. How many black people are racist towards their own people? Okay, and this is not anything new. If we look back on history, you can look up a man by the name of Anthony Johnson, a black man, one of the first black men to ever own slaves. If we look back on our history as African people, our people were enslaving their own people for hundreds of years before the Europeans and the Arabs and the Spaniards, before any of them came into the Portuguese, before any of them came into Africa. We were already doing this. Okay, this goes back hundreds and thousands of years throughout many different races, and basically every race of people have enslaved some people. So we cannot constantly look back at what happened 400 or 500 years ago and say that's why we're in the state that we're in today. Because what that means is that we're still using that as a crutch. We're still using that as a scapegoat. And at what point in our life do we sit back and say, hey, enough is enough. It's time for us to shape up, or, get our shit together. That's the realness of it. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it really boils down to. It's time for each and every one of us to take a really good hard look in the mirror and ask yourself, Are you being the best man or woman that you can be? Are you being the best man or woman that you believe God created you to be? You see, God knows that we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. I didn't really think that he even intended for any of us to be perfect. Okay? But God has endowed each and every one of us with his divineness, his divineness inside of us. Those are the things that give you your intuition. Those are the things that, you know, make that light go off inside of you when you're doing something wrong. You know, when you're trying to sneak and take that quarter that you knew you wasn't supposed to be taking when you was a little kid. You got that little feeling like, oh, somebody's watching me. That little feeling of fear came over you. That was your intuition. That was your gut telling you that was wrong. That was not right. You understand what I'm saying? You don't need anyone or any book or any manuscript or any doctrine or anything to teach you how to have morals, how to be a good, kind human being. I know it's not easy because the truth of the matter is that they've set it up to not be easy. It's been set up to not be easy for us. It's been set up that way, but you see, we got to realize that if we don't stop it, if we don't kill that weed that they planted, because now it has grown into a weed, a very tall weed, and we have become the gatekeepers and the gardeners of that garden that they started so long ago when they planted those seeds of hatred. Hate your neighbor, hate your brother, hate your sister, hate each other. Those are seeds that were planted in our ancestors many, many years ago to keep us separated, to keep us conquered and divided. But we have to start saying to ourselves and to our neighbors, each other, it's time, my brother. Look at your brother and your sister sometime and you see them doing wrong. Take them to the side. If you consider yourself a friend of that person, if you consider yourself a loved one of that person, be a true friend. Be a true loved one. When you see them, you know, just acting amok, just doing something that the only result is going to be bad. The only outcome is going to be bad. You understand what I'm saying? You outside, you acting all irate. You know what I mean? You being all loud. You know, you causing dismay. You know what's going to happen. It's going to bring the cops. It's going to bring the police. We can't talk to the police. The police are not nice to us. It ain't like them old black and white movies no more where you saw the police officers walking down the street, little kids playing outside. Hello, little boy. Hello, little girl. You know, help old lady across the street. They're not doing that no more. They're not doing that no more. They definitely ain't doing it in no black neighborhoods and no poor communities. Okay? So, the bottom line is this. We have to start taking responsibility for our actions. You want to know why there's always thousands of cops in black neighborhoods? Because look what we do. We stand out on corners. We stand in front of people's stores, in front of people's businesses, in front of people's properties. And we act a fool. We scream, we yell, we curse, we fight, we break bottles, we pee. You understand what I'm saying? But we doing all of this stuff. And then we sit back and we trying to figure out, why is it always police in my neighborhood arresting us, locking us up, bothering us, harassing us? If all I see from you when I look at you is violence, if all I hear every time I speak to you is negativity coming out of your mouth, vulgar language, ask yourself, what am I left to think of you? You see, we also have to understand that the same seed that was planted in us to hate one another was planted in them. When I say them, I'm talking about white people. But I'm talking about the white people of that day, of that age, of that era. Okay? It was being implanted in them too. You understand what I'm saying? Because when our ancestors was brought here from Africa, you got to understand, you had white people that had never saw a black person ever. Ever. Now, if there wasn't no TV, wasn't no radio, okay? Newspaper is something that really was just starting to circulate. So if you've never seen anything in your life, but then everybody, everywhere you go is saying to you, oh, watch out for that. Watch out for them. It's dirty. It'll kill you. It'll bite you, eat you. Because they said all these kind of things about us. You know, we eat each other. You know, we were cannibals. All this kind of stuff. Okay? Which, of course, you know we were not. Okay? Your ancestors, my ancestors, were very civilized people. And were also the father and the mother of civilization. Okay? So, we know that. Now that we know that, the thing is that now it's time for us to break all of that. It's time for us to break all of that. That's what it's time for us to do. Break every chain. You know what I'm saying? It's time to break every chain. It's time to, you know, wipe that out the minds of society. That we just a race of people that will never amount to anything. That we're just a race of people that are nothing but savages, barbarians. It's time for us to erase that ink spot off the minds of society. And they can't do it for us. Only we can do it for us. Only we as a people. When you look back on your history, and I always say this to you, my brothers and my sisters, when you look back on your history and knowing what a great people you come from, what a magnificent lineage of people you come from, how can you not walk with your head held high as though you are regal, because you know that you come from something so great and magnificent that had it not been for your people, none of this would be going on. Okay? So the fact that we run around here and we act like we don't care about ourselves, you know, we carry on as though we don't love ourselves. And I always say this to you, brothers and sisters, it's part of my obligation to empower my people, to let you know, if nobody has ever let you know, you are beautiful, you are magnificent, and that you were created in the Almighty's image, and everything He has endowed in you comes from His divineness, which makes you divine. So if you never hear that in your life, you know that you heard it from me. And it is high time that you start carrying yourself as such. You see, I'm paying a lot of attention now to what's going on in the news, the media. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm getting deeper and deeper into history. The real history. You understand what I'm saying? And here's another thing too. See, in the beginning, and how I got into a lot of this, I'm not going to get into religion right now on this little intro, but how I got into this was because I started questioning religion. Yeah, funny thing. I started questioning religion a couple of years ago, a few years ago. I went to someone that I know who is very, very astute when it comes to things of that nature. Biblical, okay, African, Egyptian. You understand what I'm saying? And I asked this person, how can I find out what is the true origin of Christmas and the birth of Jesus? Just studying that alone took me down a road that I had not even been prepared to embark on. It opened up a whole bunch of different things to me, and I was like, oh my goodness. So, you know, and history and all these hidden things about history, all these hidden facts about history, all these hidden facts and hidden information about my people. You understand? I'm not talking about the Harriet Tubmans and the Frederick Douglass. We know about Harriet Tubman. We know about Frederick Douglass. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about the fact of brothers like John Horse, okay, who ran with the Somalis, the Somali Indians, okay, who fought back. One of the only brothers right alongside with Indians fought and took on this country, tooth and nail. You understand what I'm saying? I learned about the Ptolemaic dynasties. I learned about King James, okay, the author of the New Testament. You know, it took me down a road that doors were constantly being opened, and now it has led me here at present day, where I'm now learning about things such as sovereign rights, sovereign citizen. What is a sovereign citizen? What makes us subjects to this jurisdiction? Why are we not true citizens, but instead subjects? See, so my journey started off somewhere totally different, but it has led me to this point, and that is what I want to share with you, because I'm hoping that we will pass it on, you will pass it on to the babies, to the youth, to your brother and your sister. It's high time we start treating one another a lot better, you know what I mean? That's another thing. I look at my people and I'm like, dang, you know, where's the love? Where's the love at? You know what I mean? Even the way we move, the way we do certain things. When we get invited to a party, you remember how your mother and your father did things, your grandparents back in the days. You remember seeing your moms getting ready to go to a party or whatever have you, or have a party, and the guests started arriving. Everybody came with something in tow. Something in tow. You know what I mean? A dish, a beverage, something. Nowadays, we don't even come to a person's birthday party with a gift. We just all about going to get drunk, going to have a good time. You know, forgot about the whole fact that it is somebody's birthday. See what I'm saying? How our mentality has gotten, you know, that may be a small thing to you, but there's a point. There's a point in that. You understand what I'm saying? There's a message in that, and that's why I brought that up. It's little things like that that shows how disconnected we have become as a people. You understand what I'm saying? So disconnected that if there's nothing I can gain from you, and I'm not even talking about knowledge or anything like that. I'm just talking about, can I drink up your liquor? You know, can I eat up your food? Stuff like that. You know, we don't even give consideration to the other person anymore. The way we talk to one another. You know, if I've never seen you before and we walking down the street at the same time and we bypass each other and you say hi to me, but I've never seen you, I never saw you, I don't want to speak to you. I have to give you the screw face. Now you know, you got on something nice, you know, that I like. A new pair of Jordans, the fresh Jordans that just dropped. You know, nice outfit. And now I'm looking at you and I'm angry. I got hate in my heart now. Why? Why do I have hate in my heart? Why should you have hate in your heart? Because I'm quite sure that if each and every one of us put our mind to it and applied ourselves, we could have all those same things that we desire. Truth of the matter is that there is no white man with his foot on your neck. Okay? Knock that off. Stop using that. Stop using that, because that's getting all played out and redundant. Okay? That's the truth of the matter. So, I'm going to end this intro. I just wanted to pretty much break down to y'all what's the basis of this channel and what am I looking to gain from doing this channel. And see you on the next one.